garden. So I just transplanted my green onions, got them from the store, and I've been throwing away the bases like an idiot. Same goes for my leek. We buy leeks for our potato soup, and we've been throwing the bases out. And I thought, what am I doing? As you can see, they regrow really well. Leeks and green onions love heavy water. All my tomato leaves are curling, and I read online why that is. Apparently, the humidity causes them to not be able to soak up enough water. So I've been trying to water a ton extra. Squash is doing really well. And I gotta show y'all, this is hilarious. So I put my bigger bird feeder up, and although it makes more of a mess on the other side of the yard, they are sloppy. And I noticed yesterday next to my cucumber plants, these are sunflowers. That's a sunflower. And sunflowers. And there's one in here too. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? Just saw it yesterday. Is it the third one? Oh, no, wrong bucket. Sunflower. And my okra bucket. This is the last squash that I planted. I had to pull the okra because it wasn't doing well, and decided to put the squash in there, and it's doing really good. Basil I clipped significantly the other day. Got to dry it out. I did have nasturtiums planted in 3 buckets. The 3rd bucket is over there with the green onions now. But I planted nasturtiums because I'm trying to encourage the bees to come to the yard. Probably my sprout. It's my nasturtium. Yeah, so I planted nasturtiums, and then the squirrel came. And he was using the loose dirt to bury his freaking peanuts. He didn't dig into this one, so hopefully I still get sprouts, but this bucket belongs to the squirrel now. I know, Maisie's waiting for mama. My daughter and son-in-law have a gardening job this morning, so Maisie and me are hanging out. Got my wildflowers from the vet, doing well. Dahlias are booming. Tomato, gorgeous. Lots of flowers. I'm just really lacking pollinators here. It's the only thing I'm struggling with gardening in the city is that there's just not enough bees. Not in this yard anyway. Sunflowers got huge. But yeah, quick garden update. So I went ahead and did some rearranging. I noticed that the pollinators, the very little that we get, were kind of sticking towards this side of the yard versus here. So I kind of moved my okra buckets here. I had to pull 3 of them. They were doing terrible. I do have 1 successful okra right now, but the other plants were trash. So I moved my cherry tomatoes up where the okra was, hoping that I could get the bees to pollinate these. They got a ton of flowers all over, but we just don't have enough bees here. I went ahead and ripped what I thought was a cucumber plant growing, but it was terrible. It was apparently some sort of squash. I don't know how it got mixed in, but I pulled that yesterday, and now my cucumbers have some breathing room. They were being suffocated by that squash plant, and the squash plant was being weird. Oh, that baby. Squash plant was like deformed and not producing anything viable, so kind of like these. They were, I don't know, leaves were curling. These look better than what I pulled yesterday, but the ones I pulled yesterday had like growths and stuff on it, so I did transplant the 1 successful squash I had in the orange bucket. It looks like it's gonna do well. And my green onions are big. So yeah, the yard's cleaned up, and I went ahead and started some more okra seeds. Soak them for about 24 to 48 hours before I plant them. And I did find a sucker on this plant. Normally when you find suckers, they're real tiny and they're in the bends, like the intersection of one stem. But apparently I had missed this one, so I went ahead and I pulled it and stuck it in some water, and it's already rooting. So thankfully, if you do miss a sucker, like here, and it does get big, suckers end up turning into a whole new tomato plant.